Hello, I'm live for the last time this year. Last time this month. It has been a joyous month of live streaming, and I've been so happy to have you all along for the ride of the 10-minute portrait sketches. If you joined us late, or if this is the first time you're joining, you'll be able to catch up all of the 10-minute portrait sketches up on my channel. So you'll be able to watch them at your leisure, re-watch them, do them again. Hello, Gabriela, Miss Lupix. I would love to know where you're watching from, who you are, and what you're going to be sketching with today. I have some watercolor and pencils. We have a pretty vibrant reference from a pretty inspiring, vibrant person. Yeah, so it's going to be fun. And I'm going to, after we do the 10-minute portrait sketch, number 31, hi Monica and Alexa. So yeah, after the portrait sketch, I'm going to go through all of my sketches from this month. So if you'd like to stick around for that, I'm going to look back over what I liked, what I felt worked for me, and just have a look at everything that we've been working on together, which I think is going to be really cool. And so I'd love you to stick around, and I'd love to hear from you as well, what you felt worked for you, what you kind of experienced and got out of this month of sketching together. I think it's going to be, yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to look back upon them all. Hi, Christina and 81 Tizzle. Let's sketch Vivienne Westwood together. So yesterday, a few people suggested that we sketch Vivienne Westwood here, who just passed away. And I actually didn't know much about Vivienne Westwood, so I've been looking into it, and looking into her life and work, which has been super interesting. That it started out that she was like the stylist for the Sex Pistols, and really like part of the driving force of the fashion and the visual aesthetic of the punk movement in Britain, and turned into this fashion icon. Which is pretty cool. Hi, Ike, Uta, Diogo. Nice to have you here. And this particular image is, so Vivienne Westwood was also an activist, pretty outspoken, and seemed like was really doing her part to make the world a better place. And this was from an event where she was speaking out against the detainment of Julian Assange, and was put herself in like a big cage that said, "I am Julian Assange." And so that was really interesting. For those of you who don't know, Julian Assange is the WikiLeaks founder who's been arrested for sharing truth about what kind of terrible things go on in particular governments. Let me know what your favorite Vivienne Westwood moments are, and how, because 3 of you suggested yesterday that we sketch Vivienne Westwood. So I'd love to know what she's meant to you, or what you've kind of, how you came to know her, what you've enjoyed about her work. And this will be a little celebration. I like this vibrant, cheery reference that we have, and I'm going to get to it. It's 8:33. Start sketching. I've got, what's this? Some shadow hanging over here. I'm still figuring things out with my new webcam. What's the best way to set up here? There's another shadow, but it's okay. Can work with that. All right. Now it's 8:34. Yeah. So the whole Julian Assange thing is, it was really cool to see that she is like standing up for the importance of the integrity and freedom of journalism, and it's a whole big ongoing thing, and it's a crazy story. So it was, because I didn't really know much about Vivienne Westwood, and as I was reading through, and I was like, oh yeah, that was something that resonated with me, that she really made a big event of that, amongst many other things. And I'd love to know from you what you know of Vivienne Westwood, and it seems like she was quite outstanding, outspoken character. was a dame, and I just saw a post by Mia Matangi just before coming on here, Mia, Maya, who we drew earlier in the month, who met Vivienne Westwood, and she said that that Vivienne Westwood was like the punk version of the Queen of England, which I thought was a nice kind of analogy. And interesting that she also had this honorific to be a dame and to really be such an outspoken kind of nonconformist character. Hi, Fred Stone. Nice to have you with us. Oh, there are now 24 people watching. That's amazing. Who are you all? Where are you? What are you sketching with? If you're sketching along, and you can hit that thumbs up button. It's always nice to get some likes, because then hopefully the idea is that then YouTube is like, oh, people like this, and then they'll show it to other people, and then next live stream maybe there'll be some more people hanging out here sketching together. So yeah, I'll be taking a breather from daily live streams for a while. I'll still do maybe some spontaneous ones, and we'll still be doing Drawn Together every 2 weeks. And I'll be doing my bi-weekly Saturday sketch session, where I also open up my Zoom room, which is not at the moment. We had some bots crashing the Zoom room last time we had that open. But it's a really cool way to hang out and sketch together. It kind of adds like an extra level to this whole live stream experience, because rather than me just rambling and talking the whole time, I actually get to speak with people and have a conversation. So that'll be next Saturday. And it's New Year's Eve. I'm here with two of my kids. The oldest and Kira have gone out. They're celebrating with friends, and I put the kids to bed. They're asleep, and I guess I'm just gonna spend New Year's Eve drawing. Do you have any plans? Friends on YouTube, what are you up to for New Year's Eve? I'm not big into fireworks and stuff. Growing up in Australia, it's like bushfire hazard constantly. It's the middle of summer. Although it's getting more and more that way. It's drier in Germany than it used to be. But like you can't just buy fireworks in Australia. Here you can. And people all over the place are just like polluting the air with light and noise and sound, which children and animals, and I guess myself, not really into so much. How do you all celebrate New Year's? And if you're watching this after the fact and you're not actually drawing along live, you can just respond in the comments. I'd like to know what you got up to. I was wondering, I was going to do some watercolor with this. There's this interesting yellow above the lipstick. It's yellow of the jacket, some blue and magenta around the eyes. So Vivienne being such a fashion icon, lots of interesting looks. It was just fun looking through reference photos of Vivienne Westwood and Vivienne's Instagram account, and just seeing like all these amazing looks. The fashion world is not really something that I'm plugged into very much. I've seen occasional things which I think are interesting and amazing, so it was really fun kind of checking out. The noise makes you nervous. Yeah, what's the deal with fireworks? Growing up in Australia, there would be, for those who do appreciate fireworks, there would be like this one official big event, and everyone would go there who wanted to, and everyone who didn't could stay home, and it would be peaceful and quiet, unless there were parties all over the place, which is often the case, but without fireworks. So there'd be like this one big organized, coordinated event. And it's like where everyone could get the fireworks out of the system. No one was allowed to light them themselves. It was all done by professionals. But here, at every supermarket, you can buy fireworks. A bit of yellow. What do I have here? Some inky brush. Yeah, that's inky. It's been so interesting. Because I've been doing these live stream sketches, and then I will just kind of like leave everything on my desk. So I haven't been cleaning up between every portrait. So sometimes I've actually sat down and I've been like, what am I even going to use? And I'll just grab something and start working. Or if you've been watching from the beginning, you may have noticed a couple of times when I was like, oh no, this is a really dirty brush from yesterday. But it's nice having everything on the desk, everything ready to go, just to be able to not have to really prepare and think about it too much, which has been a lovely part of this challenge. Like, I'll see with my new webcam if I can make this a bit easier to see. Is it? Oh no, that's the focus. That's not like the white balance. Whoops. I'm still learning here, learning together. If we drop that down a bit, yeah, maybe that's a bit easier to see. Yeah, so that if you're here now and it'd be super interested to know if anyone's watching for the first time, because this is day 31, the final day of this challenge. And I have seen in the last couple of days there have been people joining for the first time who have been posting sketches and like, oh, I just discovered this thing, or like people who've gotten on board late, which is awesome. All of these videos are going to live on, so you can keep doing these at your own pace. But yeah, what I was going to say about like just having things ready to go and kind of being in the flow, being in the practice. Okay, like almost every day, same time, just sit down together and start sketching. And yeah, it's been really cool having this shared practice. And yeah, really have appreciated it so much, all of you coming out and joining the fun. It's always lovely having you here, even if I don't know what you're sketching. For those who do share their work on social media, tagging me, I love that. But I also appreciate it just if you're here in the background and watching, having fun, maybe sketching along, maybe learning something, trying something out. Then that's awesome. Thanks for being here. What I want to do, I don't want to go in too heavy-handed with the face, but maybe I'll just put something in the background because it's like this awesome white hair. So just kind of want to set up some contrast. Yeah, and for anyone who's been joining this and have enjoyed it, if you would like to have monthly tutorials from me on my Patreon, or would just like to support on Patreon or buy me a coffee, there are some links down in the description below. And yeah, every month I'm doing a tutorial video where I do like guided instruction, and it's a really nice way to tailor my lessons to what my supporters want to learn from me, which is fun. And it's been fun this month, like using all sorts of different medium and trying different stuff out. So if there's anything in particular you would like me to focus in on in any of those tutorials, then thank you to all of you who are already Patreon supporters and have been joining in the fun this month. It's been really wonderful having you be a part of it. Oh, I feel like I need more than the 10 minutes. What's going on? There's something. Maybe I'll come in with a bit more. What have I got here? Red. Hi, Claudia. Oh, watching for the first time. Awesome. That's so cool. Welcome from Switzerland to YouTube. I'm in central Germany. I'm gonna go a little bit longer with this, little overtime. Where's that? And I'm going to follow this up with a look back on the month's 10-minute sketches. So if you have a moment, if you still have a little time before you're heading out, or maybe you're heading home and staying home like me, it'd be lovely to have you hang out a bit longer, and we'll look back upon the month. And yeah, I'd really love to hear from you what you've got out of these sketches. And perhaps as I show my sketches, you'll be able to tell me how they went for you, if there were anything in particular in any of the different sessions that you found groundbreaking or frustrating, then I'd love to hear it. Oh, cool, Lydia, you've adopted the square watercolor brush. Yeah, I love flat brushes. They're so cool. Have you found it so far? And something exciting starting tomorrow. I'm not teaching in it, but I'm going to be participating in 30 Faces, 30 Days. It's a challenge that I have joined for many Januaries now. I think 4 years in a row I've done a sketchy 30 Faces, 30 Days challenge. So that'll be fun. And I have some friends who are teaching. So I'm really looking forward to seeing their first sketchy classes. All right, I think I'll stop now. A little over time, but I also played around with my camera in the middle of the sketch. So thank you so much, Vivienne Westwood, for everything you offered. Oh, it looks like her eyes are looking out in different directions. Maybe I'll fix that up. Yeah, thank you for all that amazing work. And no one really chimed in on the chat what their favorite Vivienne Westwood's moments were, but maybe now that our 10 minutes is up, maybe now you have a moment to say what impression she made upon you. Because that would be lovely to hear. Cool, thank you, Miss Lupix. I'm glad you like it. Partway towards the 10 minutes marks, I was like, I don't know, I need more time. I'm feeling a bit lost. But thank you for your vote of confidence. I'm glad you like it. Okay. Oh, it looks different up there than it does here. Okay, so there's something, when I look up there, there's something going on with the eyes that I don't perceive when I look from it down here. I'll go over the eyes with ink with this pen, and maybe I can kind of set it right. I don't want to come in with too much ink now because it would just be so like dominant compared to the lightness of everything else, but there are a few places where I could Alright, maybe we'll just leave it at that. And we can now, I'm going to flip through all of the sketches from the past month. So you can all relax, stop sketching, or keep sketching if you like, but I'm going to turn off the reference now. And I I spent some time last night sorting through, making sure I had all of my a little bit brighter, making sure I had all of my work together, and it took me a while to figure out like, oh, how many things did we sketch, what was on what day, and so now I'm just gonna take this off and we'll have a look through. And I would love to hear from you as I flip through these. If you're sticking around, I would love to hear from you which ones you really enjoyed, and feel free to let me know in the comments. What was a highlight for you from the 10-minute portrait challenge? The whole month has been super fun for me, and so we started with Larry Davey, a couple of awesome photo references from David Callanan. These were both David Callanan photos that we worked from day 1 and 2, and they followed on a bit from my last Patreon lesson where I'm going to get around to finishing this. I'm actually going to make zines out of all of my 10-minute portrait sketches as well. So Uta's sketching with a cocktail, nice. That's so cool. So my last Patreon video, I went through, this was like an instruction for 10-minute portrait sketches, and I'm still going to complete this zine of Sandman sketches that'll be going out to Patreon supporters. So theoretically, I do a zine every month, but I don't get them done every month. So sometimes there'll be a month where I'll get like 2 or 3 done. So for those of you who are zine supporters and the new patrons who've joined this month, thank you so much for your support. And yeah, those zines will be going out. I'll be getting together in the coming month, and they'll be going out soon. This was the one where I had a dirty inky brush. I thought it was going to be really colourful, but then it was dirty and inky. I really like this one of Janelle. Janelle is going to be a guest on the Drawn Together show sometime in the coming year, so that'll be fun. Wim Hof, the Iceman. This one I did 2 versions of. Does anyone remember that? The first one was like 5 minutes and a mess, and it didn't work out, but I really like this one. It was DJ Rawbase, and I'm actually going to send this to him because I wrote to him earlier in the year, and I was like, oh, I'd love to do your sketch, and just said to send it to him, so I'll do that. La Dame Blanche, that was really nice. She shared the portrait sketches that people shared on Instagram. She also shared on her account, which was really awesome. Really amazing musician. Ian Goldsmith, who was also a Drawn Together guest. We had a really wonderful conversation, which you can also watch. Drawn Together episode 3, I think that was. Monica, from thinking it as a commitment that was too big, you've come to recommend your practice a very accessible and doable. That is so wonderful. That's what I was going for. That's what I was hoping for, that this would be accessible and doable. And there's often with these challenges, I feel like I've been involved in quite a few of them, and I often feel there's like drawing or art challenge fatigue, like halfway through, where people kind of dropping off and they've got other things to do, and then it's like getting up to Christmas and it's like, oh, there's so much going on and people are distracted or have other priorities. And it's been just really great to see some of you who've been here every day and posting every day. It's been so awesome. So yeah, I'm glad that it has, that was my vision, for it to be accessible and doable. It's like, it's 10 minutes, so it should be okay. So I'm glad that you got that out of Monica. Janelle was so good to paint, right? I loved that one of Janelle. It was really cool. So Color Theorist, amazing. Dr. Gabor Mate was also really cool. Some portraits are awesome, some really awful, as today's. But they're all learning experiences, right? Like some that's just like, hey, this was good, and some that's like, oh, what was going on? And like just now, I was like with Vivienne Westwood, I was like, oh, I don't feel like I finished with my strongest sketch of the month. I really like this one of MIA. That was super fun. Oh, if I angle them up a bit, you can see it a bit better. That was a really nice one to do. Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche, such a great inspiration. I've been dipping into his book, the Tibetan Yogas of Dream and Sleep. Masi Elenajad, still see daily posts from Masi on Instagram about what's going on in Iran. There's been so much going on. It's interesting to just kind of look back, reflect upon these. Steve Boys, Dr. Steve Boys. That was really interesting, learning about the Okavango Delta water. I really like this one. This was my first natural ink sketch of the month. The canoe driver and hippopotamus. What would the word be? Like, apparently hippos are pretty dangerous, and in the Okavango there are lots of hippos. So as a canoe guide, you'd have to like keep an eye out for the hippos and see what's going on. I like this one a lot. Wednesday Addams. I was sick this month. Yeah, some of these sketches I did while I was sick, and while I was sick, I binged watched Wednesday on Netflix because there was like very little I could do. So that was really fun, sketching Wednesday, Jenna Ortega. This one is maybe my favorite of the month. I really like this one, Hayao Miyazaki. Oh wow, Sophie did 3 zines for the challenge, finding out which paper works best. For me, it's important to have something liquid for big areas and to create gradients. I'd love to know what paper, Sophie, what paper worked out for you, because I always use Hanemüller Nostalgie paper. That's what I make my zines with. That's what I've been sketching on. So I'd love to know what your experience has been with trying out different papers. Ike couldn't complete any in 10 minutes. That's fine. There's actually no rules here. The idea was, just to come together and practice, and starting with 10 minutes. Like, there was one I got carried away with. I'll show you that later. But this Hayao Miyazaki, I really liked. Like this, I can hardly believe. I really like this one so much. There's something about this that, apart from Hayao Miyazaki just being incredible, and maybe I felt like it was part of channeling that creativity, and I don't know, there's something about this I like so much. So this is maybe something that I can put up on my workspace and be like, try and reincorporate that into some future pieces, because this is cool. I like that a lot. This was fun. We did the mugshot live stream, where I've got most of them here. I did a giveaway. So when I do these multiple portrait live streams, I always give one away. So the one of Ev M. Ben is gone, but these were all done of 1920s mugshot portraits, which was so much fun. We did a 2-hour session, 10 portraits, and there were some wonderful faces. And my darling sister has bought me the book of this exhibition, which when she comes to visit, she's going to bring it over from Australia. She's going to come to Germany, and she's bought this book for me, which is going to be full of mugshot portraits. And so maybe there'll be some more great reference for us to work from. I really like this reference too. It's so cool. Because it was so weird. After doing the live stream, and I was saying, go check out the website of this exhibition because you can see all these incredible photos there. 2 days later, they took the website down, and it had been like online since 2019. And so it's like they just waited for this live stream to happen, and now you can't visit the website anymore. So that was weird. But I'm really glad we had the time, that I was able to get all these cool screenshots for us to sketch from. And this was the photographer. Was it George Howard? So this is the photographer who took all of those mugshots. Amma the Hugging Saint. A dear friend of mine, Guido, is going to visit Amma in a couple of weeks' time. He's going to be going to India. I really like this one too. This is cool. So this was natural ink and some purchased ink with the red polychromos pencil. And Viola Davis. I saw that Astrid was here. So Astrid won this. I did a giveaway for this one, and I'm going to be sending it to Astrid. I still have it. I'm not Amazon. There's no next day delivery when you get something from me. I don't get to the post office very often, but I will. This very soon will be on its way to you, Astrid. Thank you so much to everyone who entered the giveaway by sketching along and sharing it on Instagram. Claire Sara, my sister, who was guest 4 on the Drawn Together show. So this was the warm-up 10-minute portrait sketch. And actually, I'll have to look at it later because it's a bigger one. Alan Watts. This was the first calligraphy pen portrait that I did. Alan Watts was really cool. Getting into some of his teachings and hearing what he has to say, and now that I've started listening to him, I realize I recognize his voice from other places. So cool. 81 Tizzle's a big Ghibli fan. Do you have a favorite film? What's your favorite? At the moment, my little ones, they're 4 and 6 years old. It's like every day they could watch My Neighbor Totoro every day. So in the past 2 months, I think we've watched it like 4 times or something. It's really cool. And they often were like, let's watch Totoro. And I'm like, oh no, we don't watch a lot of film and media. But My Neighbor Totoro is such a lovely one. Icon, this is my oldest son. He also likes My Neighbor Totoro. And this was a pre-recorded one for when I went away for Christmas. Ani DeFranco. So this was scary for some, I heard, with all of their hands. So it's like, hey, 10-minute portrait, let's draw 4 hands as well. But I thought this one was really, Spirited Away. Yeah, so nice. I feel like it worked out. It worked for me, and some of the sketches I've seen you do of this one. I know hands are scary, but so many people, I think, really did a good job with it. And the idea was we started with negative space, just like drawing around the lines of the fingers without thinking about them as actually hands. And I feel like it worked out. It was really good to see what people were sharing with those ones. Serge Tankian, such a cool musician, such an inspiration. I'd love to know from everyone watching, did you have any favorites? Was there something that you felt like outstanding? Like I really feel like Hayao Miyazaki was like a big one for me. Just like the end result, I was so happy with. Snow Raven. Me and my family have just had like Snow Raven inspiration flash the past few days. It was so cool and also so beautiful and lovely and heartwarming that Snow Raven also shared our work after the live stream. So I and a few of you had been sketching along, posted your sketches of Snow Raven, and there were some really incredible ones. Like so many of your portraits that you've been sharing. It's like, it's just so cool to see what you're all doing. And like everyone's got their own approach and own flair, and some people have been doing like 4 10-minute portraits of the same one, and then it's like each one is different, and there's like something different brought to it each time. It's so interesting. So yeah, it was beautiful to see everyone sharing, and then she also shared the work that people were sharing onto her Instagram stories, so that was really nice. Michelle Yeoh, J.A.W. Cooper. This one is also one of my favorites. Like there's something about this. I feel like it's pretty minimal. Like it's quite reduced in the face. I think this one and Hayao Miyazaki, they're both very different, but probably my 2 favorites from the month. And J.A.W. Cooper was also our guest on Drawn Together, which was so much fun. So if you haven't watched that was almost a 2-hour conversation. You can watch that on my YouTube channel, where Shannon and myself did a portrait of J.A.W. Cooper. It was so cool. Pele from yesterday. Also really like this one with walnut ink and pencil. And I have a big one to show because I did one big format one, and then we've got Vivienne Westwood here. Beth's favorite was the mugshot session. It was so good, wasn't it? There was something really special about that live stream as well. I feel like there was something about the time traveling quality of it and all those faces, and that was such beautiful reference. Like, why are mugshots so beautiful? What an incredible photographer. So yeah, that was a super special session. So rather than doing the one portrait, we did 10 10-minute sketches on that day, and that was so fun. And here I'm going to have to zoom out a bit. This one I got carried away on. I spent much longer than 10 minutes. And it's really big. And Claire, my sister, said it was Santa. This is Frank Herbert, the author of Dune. And Oh yeah, I did it after a Tuesday portrait sketch session where I had been working big format. Every Tuesday, you're welcome to come sketch with us. I host a Zoom session where we draw for 2 hours. We start with 30-second poses and work our way up to 6 minutes. And then I was like, okay, bye-bye everyone. And then I went straight into the live stream. And because I had my tripod and everything set up for this large format paper, A3, I was like, okay, I'll do a big portrait because I didn't have time to readjust everything. So all of these ones are on A5 paper. And this one is 4 times that size. And then after, I did the 10-minute portrait sketch. So if you look back to it on my Instagram account, you'll see the 10-minute version and this detailed version. And then I got into watching a live stream of Tommy Golonsky. And as I was watching his live stream, I was just like kept working on Frank Herbert. So this turned into a really big, detailed, inky portrait with some fun. I really like this like dry brush ink marks, all with the flat brush. And then I also use the calligraphy pen a bit for like getting the details and the really dark contrast in there. So yeah, so interesting. It was interesting hearing about like when I felt like I spent so much time on this one and I posted it and I was like, oh. Like some of the ones that only take 6 minutes, I feel like, whoa, or 10 minutes. Like I finished them and like, there's something about that that's like so alive and so dynamic and it flowed. And then this one I spent like over an hour on. And I'm like, I don't know if it's proportionally better than like a 10-minute portrait. And I posted it. But then when I posted it, I saw like Reza said, oh, this is her favorite so far. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. It's so interesting that as the viewer and perceiver of an art, you know, it's such a different experience than being the creator of it. So that's something for me that like the creation of these pieces is so like the moment of creation, sitting here and making it and doing it together is like, that's like the key, that's like the main event, the making of it. So it's interesting to see what other people resonate with. Yeah, Diogo, I was inspired with Hayao Miyazaki. I'm just having a look through the comments at the moment. Hanamula Britannia. All right, I'll try it out. Canson mixed media paper. Cool. Is that like Bristol paper? Because I got a Canson Bristol. I'm sure they do lots of different papers, but I recently got Bristol, which is quite similar to Nostalgie, but a bit different. So many great ones. Yeah, so have fun catching up. If I'm going to come back over here and speak to you, I'd love to answer questions. If anyone has any questions, I still see there are 21 people still watching, which is amazing. Thank you so much for sticking by and having a look at this retrospective, looking back on the past month of sketches, which is pretty cool. And I imagine all of you have been sketching along as well. It's like at the end of the month, it's like, oh wow, here are at least 30 portraits. And actually, if you joined the mugshot session, then you've done 40 10-minute portraits in the past month. And yeah, you can watch these, rewatch them. To everyone who didn't join live, but you're still seeing this, have fun. And I'm going to be definitely doing more of these 10-minute portrait challenges in the future. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the thumbs up button. And I'd love you to leave a comment and get in touch. Tell me what you've enjoyed about this challenge. If you had a favorite and why, a favorite of mine or a favorite of yours that you did, something particular that you learnt. Yeah, I'd love to hear about that from you. It's also interesting to work on so many different portraits and to realize what is it about reference that that we feel works for us. Because sometimes when I see, like in 30 Faces, 30 Days, which is starting tomorrow, when I see the reference some teachers choose, I was like, I would never choose that. But then if I can like get into it and then realize, oh, this is like, what is it? How can we take a reference and turn it into our own as we're creating the portrait sketching? And what we learn to see in images, because sometimes you see a photo and just be like, wow, I want to draw that. And there'll be like this instant kind of resonance. Yeah, so it's interesting. I hope you've enjoyed the references that I've chosen for us to work from. Initially, I had the idea that maybe some people would choose their own references and do the 10 minutes a day thing, but I don't think anyone used the hashtag using their own references. I've seen that some people have done much more than just the ones that I've been doing, which is so cool. Yeah, Nicole, I would love to have you join next time as well. Yeah, thank you everyone for being here. Oh, they're now there. The 25 people. Some more people have joined. Hello. Thank you so much for tuning into this. You'll be able to watch the replay. We sketched Vivienne Westwood, and I just went back looking over my 10-minute portraits of the past month, which has been really cool. Yeah, that's it. Like 10-minute challenge brings life to a drawing. That's so cool. Thank you, Helen, for chiming in with that, because there's something about this. And I think there's this phenomenon, and it's like my constant personal challenge. This is like something over the years that I feel like, it's really awesome having time to really dive into a portrait. But there's something about a longer pose, like how do you preserve some of the vitality, the life, like the dynamic feel. I'll just grab Hayao Miyazaki again. It was incredible reference. Like it was such a beautiful photo to work from. But there's something about this, which, although it took like a fraction of the time of this, like it's so interesting just to look back upon these and be like, what about this one can I kind of preserve if I do have the luxury of spending more time or working on a commission or some job, or I just have the time to do a longer pose. I like this one as well. But there's something about this that is just like so alive. And yeah. And it's interesting. That's like my personal challenge. How to maintain that kind of looseness in a longer pose. And it's something I keep trying, keep working on. And it's a really fun, enjoyable challenge. And actually this piece was one that I did in my Ink Naturally class of Andy. And that was one where I was trying to be like, okay, I'm going to spend longer on this piece. I think it was like I can't remember, maybe a 3-hour session. I was like, how do I keep that looseness? How do I keep it alive and maintain that dynamic feel, even though I'm going to spend longer on it? So it's like starting loosely and how to keep that sense of life to the drawing. Interesting challenge. Be sure to subscribe and keep following to see if I manage to accomplish bringing the short sketch quality to a longer piece. I hope to do some longer pieces in the coming year, and it'd be really interesting to share them with you. Have I done a self-portrait? My Instagram account profile picture is a self-portrait, which I may have here actually. I can show you it. I haven't done a self-portrait for a while, but this was a calligraphy pen portrait. This must be about 4 years old. My beard's longer. And I do have a self-portrait pencil video, which is up on my YouTube channel. You can check that out, which was actually my first ever Patreon tutorial. So yeah, I have done self-portraits. It could be interesting to start the year with a self-portrait. Yeah, maybe we can all sketch me together sometime in a live stream. That could be entertaining. I actually have if you're interested in sketching me, I have in the highlights of my Instagram stories, I have references. It says "me for you," and you can look through a bunch of photos of me and sketch to your heart's content if you like. Happy and healthy New Year to you and your loved ones as well, Gabriella. You left your comfort zone and you're happy there. I'm so glad to hear it. That's something I hear a lot. That when I offer courses and classes, that people are like, "Whoa, this really took me out of my comfort zone," like working in ink without doing a preliminary drawing or time constraint. And I have found in my own experience that working under different constraints has been really confrontational and uncomfortable, but leads to growth. And it was something I heard from a friend recently, that when you leave your comfort zone, that's like the place where you can grow. Because if you're in your comfort zone all the time, it's comfortable there, it's cozy, but you keep doing the same stuff. because you know it and it's cozy and comfortable. And if you can get out of your comfort zone and like, well, this might be an ugly, terrible drawing, and you do it, and maybe it is, but you're like, oh, but it's not so bad and it didn't hurt, then you can try it again, and then you keep expanding the potential, and just go for it and get comfortable in that uncertainty and just kind of whip it out and see what happens. So that's part of the process that I love and that I've experienced, and I'm really honored to be able to impart to you, because I think that kind of liberation in the process of drawing, letting go, really helps us grow. I have found the more I let go of the more kind of practice I have where I'm putting myself in a position where I don't know what's going to happen, or I'm trying something different or new, and it's like, or working under certain constraints that it leads to unexpected things, like this Hayao Miyazaki sketch. I'll just bring it back up here because I like it so much. So yeah, that's part of the idea. That's what I hope to share and impart with you. So I'm really glad that that's what some of you are getting out of this, to get out of your comfort zone and to realize that it's a happy place and magical things can happen. Oh, cool. 81 Tizzle, you're working on those portraits of me. I'd love to see them. So be sure to tag me if you're posting. If there are any you would like to share, I'd really love to see them. Thanks, everyone. I'd love you to hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. And next Saturday, we'll be here. This time, next Saturday, we can sketch together. And I'll have my Zoom room open so you can enter. I'm going to have to figure out a new way to do that so that I don't get crashed by bots. But yeah, we will do like a 2-hour sketch session, 10-minute portraits. Anyone interested in more 10-minute portraits? We could do that next Saturday, where we have some different reference. Or we could work on a long piece of me, start the year with a self-portrait. I don't know. If anyone has any ideas, let me know. Thank you all for being here. I wish you all an incredible 2023, and I hope that we get to share part of it together here, doing these things together, because it's so much fun. Yeah, I guess that's it for today. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see the sketches that you've done. So be sure to use these hashtags over here, and I'd love you to tag me, and can't wait to see you sharing your work. And if you're watching this like in, I don't know, a month, 5 years time, because it's going to stay on YouTube, you can still tag me. I'd love to see what you're doing. Let's, be in touch. Let's sketch together, and let's have many happy New Years together, and just hang out and draw together. Thanks so much, everyone. Take care, and see you on Saturday. Or come and sketch with me on Tuesday, 7:30 German time, via Zoom. The link is in the description below. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I still haven't figured out when this actually stops. So I just kind of hang out. And I don't know. Am I still here? Am I not? I don't know. Bye.